The city of Tallahassee never fails to piss me off. Why did I choose to stay here? Why am I still here? Alright, let's get into it. So, it is currently 12:45 a.m. Sunday, September 21st. I'm halfway drunk because I've had a few drinks tonight. I am going to attempt to record this podcast in one take. I've never done a one-take episode before. I make promotional videos for my Instagram page, and I do most of those in one take. But I've never done a one-take full podcast because even my short podcast episodes last at least half an hour. Therefore, it is much harder for me to stay focused and not mumble and get my thoughts across without me having to first edit the episode and then releasing it on Spotify. So, if you go to school in Tallahassee, you know that Parents' Weekend is a big deal here. And it's Parents' Weekend as I'm recording this. It's also a big deal because it's also a football weekend. And we won, so obviously the city's in a very upbeat, good mood. I was in a good mood, which is very rare for me, I've got to be honest. I'm usually not in a good mood. But today I was in a good mood. I got home from work. I wanted to go out for a few drinks. So I texted some friends we were going to meet up for drinks. They ended up going to Baja's, and I don't really like Baja's. Number one, it's very far from everything. Number two, it's always shit when you go to Baja's. Baja's is either empty and hood and ratchet, or for some reason on a busy weekend, the line will be literally across the parking lot, like you're at Disney World. And then when you get inside, because of the way it's built, it's basically as if you were crammed into one giant box, as if you were crammed into one giant sweaty ball pit fish tank. I have had good experiences at Baja's before, but I have had more bad experiences than good ones, primarily because of the way the structure is built. And it is either dead and full of hoodlums, or it is absolutely crowded and sweaty and uncomfortable. So I'm not going to Baja's. I decided to stick with College Town. Went to Township first. I kid you not, I saw countless people that I did not like. Why is it that we live in a city with thousands of people, thousands of students? It's Parents' Weekend, so there's even more people because people are bringing their parents and their families from across the country over here. So we're probably hitting more millions of people in this weekend alone because we have all the students and the locals, plus all the parents and family. Sometimes these people bring aunts, uncles, siblings, you name it. Why am I running into people that I don't like? People that I want absolutely nothing to do with. More specifically, why am I running into the people that I don't like instead of the people that I do like? And you know I'm not afraid to name drop on this podcast. In a rare instance, I won't say the person's name out of respect that I genuinely do not have for that person. But I am not feeling in a respectable mood today, so I'm going to drop her name. Gracie DeVito. This is not the first time she's been mentioned on this podcast. I mentioned her before where we theorized because Grace is friends with Ashley Pearl. Ashley is currently attending law school in New Jersey and has claimed multiple times that she wants to get me arrested for threatening her. I never threatened Pearl. what I did is place her and also DeVito on the jack-off list, which you all probably know about. Funny enough, a majority of the people who listened to that list found it hilarious. Even the girls that were on it found it hilarious. I made that video thinking that I was going to ruin any chances with a woman ever. I thought that I was going to get reported for sexual harassment, even though I had done research to make sure that it wasn't sexual harassment before I made the video. I thought that I was going to get attacked. I thought that I was going to ruin any and all chances I ever had with a woman ever again. Surprisingly, most of them found it hilarious, and they commented positive things under the video before it got taken down. All except for Pearl. Every girl besides Pearl either completely ignored it or they commented good things about it, which was very surprising to me. Pearl went on this whole rant about how I was threatening her, which I don't understand how masturbating in the privacy of your own home, whether I did or did not do that, because y'all will never know. I don't understand how that's threatening anybody. There's a bunch of conversations about me that I was not a part of. I know Maria Giangrande, the wannabe famous TikToker, tried to attack me for it. She tried to embarrass me about shit that I had already posted about online. She tried to piss me off by exposing my jack-off list, to which I then responded, fine, I'll just jack off to you too. I generally don't understand Mari's logic. Hey, so this guy, when he gets pissed off at someone, he says he jacks off to them, so let me go piss him off. He's definitely not going to jack off to me, guys. No, he's not going to do that. People are so fucking stupid, and it fucking aggravates me. If you were to ask me what my disability is, I would tell you that my disability is that I am completely intolerant of stupid fucking retards. How is this bitch actually Pearl in fucking law school? And she's trying to get me arrested when I didn't break the fucking law. Explain that shit to me. Oh, meanwhile, Ashley Pearl's been underage drinking at Florida State University since her first day in fucking class. So you want to talk about illegalities? Didn't you have a fucking fake ID before you turned 21? Didn't you, and you can thank Mari for telling me this, didn't you climb up to the Florida State Westcott fountain despite the signs saying that there's no fountain climbing prohibited, despite the fact that Florida State has sent out emails and announced that nobody is allowed to climb that fountain? That's partly in fault of their stupid police force, because FSUPD does anything but their fucking jobs. But on her 21st birthday, Pearl climbed to the top of the Westcott fountain, and then she slipped because she was drunk and the fountain was wet and slippery. She slipped and busted open her vagina. She couldn't have sex for I don't even know how long because her vagina was busted. Now, I don't care how long it took for her to heal. What I really want to know is, why do we live in a world full of so many simps that they're willing to fuck a girl like Ashley Pearl who has a face uglier than the Annabelle doll? So back to my original story. I went to Township, ordered a cocktail. It was all right. Ran into Gracie DeVito, of all people. And like I said, me and my friend have theorized this because we know two things. We know, one, Grace is friends with Ashley. Two, Grace works with, or at least used to work with, FSUPD. And we also know that Pearl knows things about me, classified information about me that is not public, that even I, despite how public I am about my cases, I have not yet publicly said these things. But we know that Pearl knows of things that know about me that no one else knows. that only the police and the authorities and myself should know. Somehow Pearl knows it. So we theorized, well, hey, she's friends with the girl who's friends with the police. So if I had to take a wild guess, and I'm never wrong, I am 99.9% sure that Grace is part of the reason why I've gone through what I've gone through. Not to mention the fact that Grace pretended to be my friend but clearly wasn't. She was fake to me for years. She currently has me blocked off her Instagram. She pissed me off enough that she got put on the jack-off list. I see her today in Township. She approaches me, hey, how are you? I'm automatically thinking, wait a minute, we are not on good terms at all. Why the fuck is she being nice to me? And then she approaches me and gives me a hug. I'm genuinely so confused. I'm so confused. This girl has spent months, maybe even years, shitting on my name. And these are just the conversations that I've overheard and information that's been leaked and stuff that I know about. What about the stuff that I am uncertain of, or the shit that I don't know about? If you were to ask me honestly, do I think Grace DeVito is a good person? I would tell you no, absolutely not. She's an absolute shit person. Because while I don't know much about her, I do know that she said things about me that are untrue. I do know that despite her acting positively to me, to my face, I know that she talks shit about me when I'm not in the room. And I know that she's a fake person. Any person who can come up to you and give you a hug and pretend that they're happy to see you, but then the minute you leave, they do nothing but talk absolute shit about you. That is not a person that you can trust. And I usually don't talk about things that I don't have hardcore proof of, because there's plenty of shit that I know for a fact, but I don't have hardcore evidence to prove it. Most of the things that I have said on this podcast, I have hardcore evidence to prove it. In case someone hits me with a defamation lawsuit, I can easily win it by showing the proof. And I think that's why nobody has sued me yet, because they know that I have the proof that I need to win the case. But so much shit keeps happening that I genuinely do not care anymore. I don't care if I get sued. I don't care if I go to jail. I don't care if I fucking die. You ever heard of secondhand suicide? It's a slang term that Gen Z is using lately. Secondhand suicide is when you are not suicidal, okay? I was once suicidal a little over a year ago. I got myself out of that. I can honestly tell you that I have no desire to kill myself. I have no desire to slit my throat or hang myself or any of the creative ways that people have come up with over centuries to take their own lives. I have no desire to do that. What I do have is a desire to die. I'm not taking my own life, but if my life was in danger and I knew my life was in danger, I would do absolutely nothing to prevent it, because I generally don't give a fuck whether or not I live or die. That's what they call secondhand suicide, when you either A, you hope something happens to you and you die, or B, you simply don't care if you die. I'm at the point now where I simply do not care if I die. I genuinely cannot remember the last time that I woke up and I actually looked forward to starting my day. I don't give a fuck about anything or anybody, because everything's a fucking clown show these days and everything is absolute bullshit. We now live in a society where the good guys lose and the bad guys win. So I don't know how long I was in Township. Max 30 minutes. I left rather quickly. Now, let me make one thing clear. I am not against Township in any way. I don't go there very often, so I can't necessarily say that it's a good or a bad place to hang out at. because I don't really hang out in College Town, generally speaking. But the reason why I left Township was because of my own personal drama, because I kept running into people that I wanted absolutely nothing to do with. DeVito's one of several people that I ran into tonight that I did not want to see or interact with. And why is it that some of these people, I've been running into them nonstop, and every time I run into them, it's on site, straight up screaming match. I don't know if it's the alcohol in their system talking or what, but as soon as they see me, they greet me with open arms and a smile. How have you been? I don't want to fucking talk to you, you fucking fag. Half the people that I've seen today have false reports in my name, have gone to the police with fake police reports and fake quote-unquote evidence, and have tried to put me in jail and have failed to do so because the Tallahassee Police Department did their own investigations and saw that so far everything that has been said about me has been absolute bullshit. Now all of a sudden these people are being friendly towards me. That's why I said this has got to be the fucking alcohol or something talking or what. I can't talk because I'm drunk. I'll run into people 10 times and fight them every single time. Today, I run into them and now they're being friendly. And to me, that's such a slap in the face when someone is nice to you out of nowhere, when you know for a fact that they have done nothing but slander your name to everyone who will listen, including DeVito. I hope you're listening, Gracie DeVito. I'm talking about you. I don't know why she's even in Tallahassee. I thought she fucking graduated. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care if she lives. I don't care if she dies. I don't care what city she's in. I'm just very confused as to why the fuck she pretended to be happy, because I know that was not genuine. I'm just confused why she came out to me, because I know for a fact that girl does not like me. I know for a fact that her friends don't like me. So why go out of your way to put on a whole show and pretend like we're besties? You and I both know we're not. So why waste your energy trying to prove this false narrative? So I left Township. Went across the street to Kush's. So earlier today I met some people who seems like they were genuinely good people. They were having a good time. We started talking about Marvel, comparing different Marvel movies and Marvel superheroes. Had a good conversation. They were going to Kush's. I was going to Township, so we split ways. When I left Township, I said, you know what, let me go to Kush's. Maybe I can find them. Maybe we can continue the conversation. They seem like good people. So I go across the street to Kush's. As soon as I get to the door, security's like, we can't let you in. And I said, why is that? Is it too many people inside or what? And the security guy said to me, he said, no, management doesn't want you here. He said, I don't know why, I'm just doing my job, but management told me not to let you in. So I said, okay, I'll be on my way. I left. Another fucking band from another place in Tally, and once again, I don't even know why. Guys, I've been to Kush's, I think, once in my entire fucking life. I don't even know anyone who works there. Let alone who manages the fucking place. And I'm just thinking, what could they possibly have against me? And before you retards go, oh, well, maybe it's just crowd control. No, because they let the people before me go in, and they let the people after me go in. So they specifically singled me out and said, Adonis cannot come in here. I'm not going to spend the whole podcast guessing as to why they don't want me there, because I don't know the reason why, so guessing is pointless. But if I had one strong guess, my guess is They are right next to Recess. And I know Recess has an issue with me. They've had an issue with me for years. And they will not state what that issue is. As soon as I made a video about it, they try to take what I said out of context and exaggerate what I said. And they went to the cops and they said, put this guy in jail because he's threatening us. And the cops looked at the video and they said, he's not threatening you. The most I can do is trespass him. And Recess said, yeah, let's do that then. If we can't arrest him, fine, then we'll trespass him. Even though I never fucking go to the club in the first place, so trespassing, it was a complete waste of their time, but also a complete waste of the police officer's time. Because I already don't go there. But knowing how the Recess people are, I'm sure they're talking about it. Now, if I were forced to guess why I'm suddenly not allowing couches, even though I've only been there once, my guess is they've probably heard something about me from Recess, probably, or it could be one of the multiple rumors going around the city started by people like Gracie DeVito. I'm gonna spend this entire podcast absolutely trashing Gracie DeVito. Because I would rather someone be mean to my face and at least I know they're a bad person versus a fucking vampire pretending to be, oh, I actually like you. I actually, I'm a good person. No, you're not. Shut the fuck up. I've seen your true colors. I know what you're like. Let me ask you something, Gracie. When you came up to me and gave me a hug, did you notice that I didn't hug you back? Yeah, because I wasn't happy to see you. And unlike you, who has to create this false narrative, who has to pretend to be a good person, I am not afraid to show people how I really feel or what I really think. Unlike you, DeVito, I'm not a fucking coward. If I don't like you, I'm not approaching you. I'm not gonna say hi to you, let alone give you a fucking hug. If you were to ask me in that moment, because you ran off to grab a water, and then I left, but if you were to stop and ask me and say, hey, you don't seem very happy, is there a reason why you don't seem very happy to see me? I would have straight up told you, you would be correct in your assumption that I'm not happy, because I'm not happy, because you, DeVito, are a fucking cunt. You are a bitch and a whore and a fucking cunt and a fake mannequin of a person. So, long story short, after Kush's denied me entry, I went to Sunstop to grab a drink, and then I went home. It was maybe 11 o'clock at night. I had literally just left my house, or so it felt like. Wasn't even midnight, and I'm already heading home. You want to know why? Because I was genuinely having a bad time. I was genuinely having a stressful day because when I left my house in the morning to go to work, it felt like a goddamn obstacle course because of the heavy traffic. There's people crowding the sidewalk, and then there's people crowding the streets. We've got traffic cops all around us. But there's so many people and not enough cops. So first of all, not only do I have to wait forever at a fucking intersection for all the people to cross the street, I now have to deal with people who are walking in the middle of the street. I was worried I was going to be late to work. And then I got back from work around like 8 o'clock. I thought, oh, traffic will be dying down. Nope. Now even more roads are closed off. Now there's even more people roaming about. Now there's more cunts getting in my way. So I was genuinely stressed out. And I can guarantee you, anyone else who had to go out and do stuff, a lot of people woke up today and got to drinking and went to the football game. But people like myself who have a life outside of Florida State, I'm sure there were a lot of people who were very stressed out because of all the traffic, because of all the people. I was very stressed out because I'm just trying to get to work, not run a fucking obstacle course. So I finally get home, unwinded for a little bit, and I said to myself, despite the fact that I am stressed the fuck out because of all these people in the city just getting in my way, despite the fact that, I'm overstimulated with all the noise and whatnot, there seems to be a good vibe around here. We just won a football game. Everyone's got high energy. I'm going to go out. I'm going to grab a couple drinks. I'm going to hit up some old friends, maybe make some new ones. Let's see what the city has to offer. We got thousands and thousands of people in the city, right? Surely they can't be all bad. The minute I enter College Town, everything goes to absolute dog shit. Lines are long, covers expensive, drinks are expensive. A drink that would usually cost you $2 now costs you $10 because it's game day and parents' weekend. Alright, well, this kind of sucks. Whatever, I'll get over it. Oh, look, Gracie DeVito is here. Of all fucking people. That's fine, I'll just look at my phone or something. I gotta call my friend anyway to see where he's out. Oh, great, now she's walking towards me. Oh, wow, she's going in for a hug. Newsflash, bitch. We don't like each other. You made it clear that you don't like me. And I don't like you either because you had to go slander my fucking name and make me look like the bad guy when in reality, you're the fucking bad guy. Let me ask you this. And see, this is what is so unfair. I'm getting banned and trespassed from every location. I literally had this prediction. I stated this on the last podcast episode. I have a prediction. Several people have tried to put me in jail, have accused me of terrorism, rape, basically every crime in the book. Try to make me look like some psychopath who can't control himself when that's actually not the case. The reality is, most of these people who pay attention to my content are retarded and they're offended by my opinions, or they are offended by the fact that I have exposed them because I go after a lot of people who do bad things and expose them for it. And then those people get upset that they are now exposed. So now they try to make me look like the bad guy because they themselves are actually the bad guy. And there's strength in numbers. So what happens is you have one guy, which is myself, standing up to the entire university saying, these people are bad. This is what really happened. These are my theories. These are my predictions. This is my analysis because I'm very good at analyzing everything. Versus a majority of the public saying Adonis is the bad person, and people who I've never even met before, people who've never even heard of me until today, they now hate me simply because they are sheep who believe what the majority of the public is saying. They have this theory of, oh, well, if everyone's saying he's a bad person, then he must be a bad person. And this was my prediction on my last podcast. They've tried to put me in jail, and they failed, because despite their claims, despite the fact that we live in a society where everyone has their phone out and can record everything, miraculously there is zero evidence on these allegations against me. Matter of fact, I and other people have managed to get these people to trip over their own words and basically admit that they were lying all along. So I can't go to jail because I haven't broken any laws whatsoever. I actually did a record search on myself the other day. I'm not being convicted for any crimes. I'm not suspected of any crimes. I'm not even on a watch list. I was, or at least I was told, because you can't believe anything you hear these days, even if it comes from a cop. I was told that I was put on a watch list and that they were closely monitoring my online activity and my activity in general because of what people were saying about me. According to public records, I am not on even any watch lists. So they failed. They tried to put me in jail and they failed. So now they say Okay, well, fuck. We can't put him in jail. Alright, let's ban him from everywhere. We're gonna ban him from it's starting with the nightclubs right now. Pretty soon I can guarantee you they're gonna ban me from every apartment complex, from every store, every movie theater, everything. Because if you think about it, and this is why I'm not completely against trespassing laws, but I think they need to be stricter. If someone is causing a public disturbance and behaving irrationally or committing crimes, I can understand why they need to be trespassed. For example, if I go to a store and shoplift, or a lot of these prankers that you see on TikTok who go into Walmart and they start screaming at the top of their lungs and disturbing the peace for absolutely no reason other than to get attention. Yeah, trespass their asses. That's ridiculous. But people like myself, we should not be getting trespassed from random places simply because we state our opinions on the internet or because we have drama in our lives. Everyone has fucking drama. Mine, and I've said this before as well, it may not be that I have more drama than the average person. It might just seem that way because I publicize it. Listen, I had an argument with a manager from the strip months ago where she basically came after me and said that I couldn't say certain things online about one of their employees. And I explained to her, I'll admit I explained it to her rather aggressively, but that's besides the point. I explained to her that while I may have beef with one or more than one of their employees, it's personal, it's a personal issue whether or not I decide to publicize it on the internet. And it hasn't occurred on Strip property, and I haven't brought Strip's name into it, therefore it's none of her concern. If I worked at a place like Subway, and I clocked out, and I go home, and I get into an argument, and then my boss calls the other person and says, hey, you can't be doing that to Adonis because he's my employee, you'd be absolutely flabbergasted. Why are you getting involved? Now, if you went to Subway and started an issue with me while I was at Subway, then I can understand why the manager might kick you out or the manager might get involved or whatever. But why are people there's so many people in this city sticking their noses in shit that doesn't concern them to the point where now businesses are sticking their noses in shit that does not concern them instead of focusing on running their business. And probably what's happening is probably businesses are looking at me, they probably don't care about my drama, they probably don't care about my opinions on my podcast or what crimes I may or may not have committed. They probably just see, okay, this kid's getting trespassed from everywhere. He's getting trespassed from the university. He's getting trespassed from this club and that club and that club. I think it's a total of 4 places that I am now trespassed from. And I don't go out a lot. I can guarantee you that there are plenty of other clubs that if I pulled up to those clubs right now, I would find out that I am trespassed from those clubs, or they would trespass me on the spot, or I would show up and they simply do not let me in. Because, let me clarify this, I'm not officially trespassed from Couches. To be officially trespassed, that requires police involvement, and they have to write it up, and they have to provide a case number, and there's a process to it. A process that Florida State originally did not follow until I forced them to. I was just simply told that I wasn't allowed in. But trespassed or not, I'm not welcome there. Why am I not welcome there? I don't know. I don't know anyone that works there, so I don't know why I was singled out. But I couldn't help but think to myself, you know, what have I done that's actually wrong? I've trolled people, both online and in person, by doing certain things like stand around campus with an Annabelle doll. Wasn't hurting anybody, wasn't harassing anybody, none of that. I've stated my opinions online. I've exposed people for doing bad things online. And funny enough, half these people who hate me so much and spread my name to others and talk about what a bad person I am, when you sit them down and ask them, okay, well, why do you hate him so much? What has Adonis done that's so bad that he deserves to be punished like this? They can't even fucking tell you. I was explaining this to a friend of mine on the phone today, and I said, it's kind of like the Democrats versus conservatives, and although my battle is not so much on a political standpoint, but liberals constantly complain that conservatives are the problem while the liberals themselves cause problems. They're the ones shooting up schools and shooting innocent people like Charlie Kirk, but then complaining about gun laws when a conservative shoots somebody. They mourned the death for years of someone like George Floyd, who was a criminal and a meth addict, but when an innocent blonde girl is stabbed to death by a black man on public transit, the media doesn't even cover it, and the liberals simply deny the fact that it exists. The liberals claim that they're the good guys, while they are actively, as we speak, they're actively celebrating a man who was shot in cold blood, not only in front of over 2,000 people, but also in front of his wife and 2 children. Jimmy Kimmel just got his show canceled because he wrongfully accused MAGA of committing the murder and made fun of Kirk's death. And ABC has now pulled his show off the air because of it. And now liberals are complaining that this is an attack on free speech. Oh, but wait a minute. Y'all have been doing cancel culture for years now while Biden was in office. Y'all tried to shoot Trump for his freedom of speech. Y'all tried to get Trump and Andrew Tate and other conservatives banned off of social media because of their free speech. Charlie Kirk was killed for his free speech. Jimmy Kimmel gets fired, and now y'all want to whine about, oh, this is an attack on free speech. Shut the fuck up. Oh, but we're the good guys. You're celebrating, you're making t-shirts of an illustration of a man getting shot in a tragic moment in front of his family. And you're supposed to be the good guys. Now, as far as my battle goes, I am political. I'm very political, actually, and I like to debate politics, but I feel like most of my arguments, at least in my personal life, have nothing to do with politics at all, but rather it's just a plethora of people who hate my guts, and I don't even know why. And they're getting absolutely anyone they can involved in this. And I don't even know why. I don't think even they know why they're involved. And it's getting to a point where I literally am being punished for what? They can't even tell me why I'm being punished. The entire city is out right now. It is 1:27 a.m. The entire city is out right now on the College Town block. Partying, having a good time, drinking. Half those people are probably on meth. Half those people probably have way too much to drink. Half of those people are probably underage drinkers. My point is, I'm on alcohol right now. What have I had today? I've had 2 beers. I had, what's that drink called? Cocktail. I had a cocktail. And I had a Mike's Hard Lemonade. So yeah, it's safe to say I'm at least slightly tipsy. I have a very high alcohol tolerance. But I'm at least slightly tipsy. I'm not stone cold sober. And I can factually say that I'm acting more rationally than some people that I've seen out there today. For years, I've witnessed Parents Weekend, and I've witnessed that the parents actually act worse than their children when the parents get on alcohol. And that makes me further analyze, because alcohol further amplifies your personality traits, and it is great in exposing who you really are, because you are now acting in ways that you usually would not act when you were stone cold sober. So things that you might be saying while drunk that you would not say while sober, chances are that you thought it while sober, but you didn't say it while sober because you kept a filter on, because it was out of respect, because you feared your friends or the public opinion, etc., etc., etc. And I'm not doing this to complain. I'm not trying to shit on people that are having a good time. I'm not trying to say that everyone in the city is a bad person. I'm just using this as an example to point out that I genuinely haven't caused a problem. I was in township and I got my drink and I stood in the corner and looked out into the distance. Because everyone that was at the bar was either people that I didn't know or people that I didn't like. I didn't want to talk to anybody, so I just stood by myself. Because I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't cause a problem. I walked in, no problem. Walked out, no problem. Some people I didn't like. Even though I didn't like them, I was cordial enough to not cause a scene about it. Now, had they tried to keep a conversation going, had they not allowed me to walk away from them, had they stopped me and been like, hey, why aren't you talking to them? Then I would have lashed out and been like, okay, well, you're a cunt, you're a bitch, and etc., etc. But they didn't do that, so I didn't feel the need to start unnecessary drama with them. I just acknowledged their presence, and I carried on with my night. And instead of causing a scene in the middle of a bar where everyone's trying to have a good time, I instead use other methods to strike back at people, like shitting on them on this podcast, which you yourself are choosing to listen to. Mind you, you don't have to listen to this podcast. You are choosing to listen to this podcast. So if you are choosing to listen to this podcast and you are choosing to hear me shit on people like DeVito, that is your own choice. But the way I talk on this podcast, I don't go out to these bars and do the exact same thing. People spread rumors, oh, Adonis is gonna shoot up the school one day. Oh, Adonis is gonna kill somebody. Adonis is gonna... They've said a million horrible, heinous things about me. I've lived in Tallahassee for 5 years. When have I ever done that? This all started in what? Since I started the Tallahassee podcast in 2023? What have I done? I'm not talking about my opinions or the rude things that I've said. I'm talking about these heinous acts that you claimed that I have committed or was going to commit. When have I ever done that? I'm going to go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow, and I'm still not going to be doing these things. Like, these people are literally victims of their own imagination. It's almost like they imagine me doing things that I've actually never done, and then they believe their own lies because of how delusional they are. Half these people are on fucking coke, and you're over here judging me for making a podcast because you don't have the balls to make your own? And what genuinely upsets me is the bad guys are out right now as I'm recording this. They're out right now with their parents, pretending that they're sweet angels to their parents. They're out here having drinks with their friends, having a good time. They should be the ones getting trespassed from everywhere. They should be the ones getting punished for the lies and the bad doings and the misdeeds that they've committed over the years. People like DeVito, she can walk into any club, any bar, any gas station, anywhere she wants to, no problems whatsoever. I show up to a place like Kush's or any bar, generally speaking, and because of my opinions that I said on the internet, I'm not allowed inside. That's absolute bullshit, and I know I said this earlier in the episode, but I'm going to say it again. If I just got out of jail for killing somebody or for breaking into someone's home, and you don't want to let me in your establishment because of that, that's reasonable. If someone walks into a public establishment and causes a public disturbance, like the pranksters in Walmart making a mess by throwing a gallon of milk in the air and letting it splatter on the ground, and you want to trespass them, I understand that. If someone posted something on the internet like, I'm glad Charlie Kirk was shot in front of his children, and you trespass them because of that, I understand that as well. But I get trespassed because I say what? All women are whores? I talk against people in power, like the FSU police department, who are clearly abusing their power and doing things that they should not be doing. I debated one of the police officers. It wasn't an official debate, but there's an episode where I quite literally argued with a police officer. The recording is on the episode. And he could not answer a single question that I asked him. He kept dancing around my questions, and eventually he ended the conversation and hung up on me because he genuinely could not give me an answer to my question because he knows that I'm right and he's wrong. He knows that he's full of shit. He knows that I have the common sense that he lacks. Even now, while I am halfway drunk, I still have more common sense than half the fuckers listening to this podcast right now. And the people who are spreading lies in my name and getting me banned off of everything and everywhere, these are the same people who are saying that I'm the bad guy, that I'm evil, that I deserve to die, that I'm the one that deserves to be locked up, that I should have killed myself when I had the chance. These are the same people who claim, oh, but we're good people, and he's not. He's a bad guy. He's a supervillain. If I was actually a supervillain, if y'all were actually in danger, keep in mind, I've lived in Tallahassee since 2022. Don't you think I would have done something by now? What am I waiting for? If I'm such an evil person, what am I waiting for? Y'all know for a damn fact that I am not afraid to go after anybody. I've gone after the goddamn cops before, not just on this podcast, but publicly as well on social media. I've called them and confronted them directly. I've confronted them on the street before. If you take a man like myself, who's not afraid to argue with the goddamn cops, genuinely, who do you think I'm afraid of? Some fat guy came up to me aggressively at the strip the other day, which I just spoke about in the last episode. And I deadass looked at him in the face and I said, I'm not talking to you. Most of y'all would have been timid and afraid because, oh, look at this big guy who's bigger than me in both body weight and height. I saw the guy and I said, yes, this guy is much stronger than me. He is much bigger than me in both height. He's at least a foot taller than me. He's definitely bigger than me in body weight. But guess what? Just because he's bigger than me and stronger than me doesn't mean that I'm going to sit here and be his little bitch. Hey, get this guy right here. Hey, I'm talking to you. Looked him dead in his eye. I'm not talking to you. He had to get the goddamn police involved because whatever issue it was he had with me, he was too pussy to take care of it himself. I'm not afraid of fucking anybody. I'm genuinely, guys, I'm on alcohol. I literally cannot lie. Even if I wanted to lie, you would be able to tell that I'm lying. Because people cannot lie when they're drunk. I am genuinely not afraid of anyone on the fucking planet. I could look at a man who's 7 foot, well aware that he has the capability to put me in a fucking coma, and I would still tell him to his face, fuck you. Most of y'all can't do that. Be honest with yourselves. Be really honest with yourselves. You don't even have to say it. You can go ahead and do what you always do and pretend to your friends, oh, Adonis is stupid and I don't believe what he's saying, and put on this clown mask that you use. You put on a mask in public and take it off when you go to bed. Be honest with yourselves. 90% of you guys, if a strong 7 foot buff man, and this is not going to do with my situation at the Tally Strip. I'm using this as an example. If an all-powerful man came up to you right now, he's stronger than you, taller than you, he can fight better than you, he is better than you, in every possible way, he came up to you aggressively with the problem you would let him have what he wants, and you would cower like the fucking insipid cunts that you are. Meanwhile, I can face off against the same guy knowing that he is better than me and more powerful than me in every which powerful way, every which possible way. And I will still look him dead in the eye and tell him to go fuck off. Happens to me here on out, I can't say. But at least I have the courage that you all lack, because you are all insipid cowards. This is absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. All I wanted to do was go out and have a few drinks and talk to my friends. That's all I wanted to do. But apparently I'm not allowed to do that. I'm being punished. Why am I being punished? I don't know. Let's guess. For having an opinion, for having drama with people, for exposing bad people, for doing bad things. What's the actual reason? I don't know, because 90% of these people who have a problem with me won't even tell me why they have a problem with me, or anyone else for that matter. They instead hide behind their fake accounts on Instagram and Yik Yak and spread rumors about me that they know are not true. And everyone else knows they're not true, but they support it, or they believe it's true because they're an idiot. And if that's not bad enough, so this part is probably a bad idea for me to say this on the podcast, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I get home. As I'm walking up to my door, I hear voices behind me. Is that Adonis? Yo, Adonis! Oh, great. Who the fuck is this? I don't know. Adonis, come here. And I can hear their footsteps following me as I'm trying to walk to my house. Adonis, I'm a fan, bro. Can we get a pic? I'm a fan. Can we get a pic? Keep in mind, I have no idea who's behind me. It could be a fucking pedophile behind me. I don't fucking know. I'm about to walk into my house. I don't want these people to know where I live. So what do? I take off. Full on running. Ran around the entire block. I get back to my apartment. Look around. Coast is clear. No one's around. Alright, looks like I'm fine. Because the only reason I took off, I was literally in front of my apartment. The reason I took off is because I don't want people knowing where I live. I don't want what happened at Nova to happen to me again. Keep in mind, while I was living at Nova, so I ran the podcast for a long time, including for a long time while I was at Nova. I didn't reveal where I lived because I don't want a bunch of people knowing that I don't know, knowing where I live. But people, when I did the animal prank, they started doing research into me and they started stalking on me and they gathered information. And they found out where I lived and everyone knew that I lived at Nova. So I said, fuck it. Since everyone knows, and since Nova's attacking me, I might as well trash them and tell everyone where I live at. Because everyone knows anyway. And while I was working on moving out at Nova, someone stole my doll. They tried to illegally evict me simply for having a doll. Someone tried to break into my house. I know you guys don't care, but someone did try to kill me. And these same people who committed crimes against me have the audacity to say that they're the good guys and I'm the bad guy. I'm not mad that you call me the bad guy. That's fine. If you want to call me the bad guy, that's fine. I call myself the bad guy. Because society's idea of a good guy is someone who basically is a doormat and takes shit from everybody. If you are society's definition of a good guy, you are going to get shit on and you're not going to get anywhere in life. There are very few people like Gandhi, like Martin Luther King Jr., like Charlie Kirk, who can be the good guy and not get trampled on. That's very rare. And as a matter of fact, and I'm not saying this to be mean or controversial, and you know I'm a huge fan and I have a lot of respect for Charlie Kirk, but I will say that kindness is often mistaken as a weakness because at the end, we've got several political extremists like Trump, Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes. The nice guy was Charlie Kirk, and they killed him. Martin Luther King Jr., history is repeating itself. MLK was the good guy. He didn't believe in violence. And the one man who was nonviolent, he got shot for it. I hate to break it to you, but the good guys lose. And society's idea of a good guy is someone like Kirk, who doesn't strike back at his enemies, doesn't curse up a storm, isn't hateful towards people, isn't angry towards people. That's why I'm fine with being called a bad guy. Because I will admit, I'm a very honest person. The only time I'm ever dishonest is when I'm playing tricks on people. For example, when I had the Annabelle doll, and when people would ask me what I was doing, and I would pretend as if I thought that what I was doing was normal. I knew that what I was doing was not normal, but I pretended that what I was doing was normal as a part of the joke. I guess technically that's a lie, because I'm pretending to be something that I'm not, but it was not for malicious intent. Other than playing jokes on people, I am a very brutally honest person, and that includes with myself. I'll admit, most of the time I'm a very angry person. Most of the time I'm in a bad mood. Most of the time I don't want to put up with people. Most of the time, if I see someone that I don't like, I will straight up ignore them instead of acknowledge their presence. And if I'm forced to interact with them, I'll usually throw an insult or some slur at them. So when these people say, oh, Adonis is a bad guy, I don't care, because I'll even admit myself that I'm a bad guy. But what angers me is when these people then have the audacity to say, these people who commit crimes against me then have the audacity to say that they're the good guys. Okay, I might not be one of the good guys, but you are a worse person than I am because you actively commit crimes for fun, like taking drugs or underage drinking. But then you go out of your way to commit crimes against me to try to make me look bad, to try to slander me and my reputation. Versus someone like myself, I genuinely, for the most part, I mind my own business. Unless you fuck with me, then I fuck with you back. And nothing that I've done so far is illegal in any way, shape, or form. You're the ones out here committing crimes to make me look bad. And you say I'm the bad guy. Yeah, that's fine. I'll admit that I'm the bad guy too. But then you say that you're the bad guy. No, you're actually a worse bad guy than I am. Because unlike myself, you are actually a criminal. And did you know that it is illegal in the US to knowingly spread lies about another person that you know are untrue as an attempt to slander them or their reputation? It's called defamation. You can literally face jail time for it. But, and this is my complaint with TPD, I have a lot of good things to say about the Tallahassee Police Department, but I also have bad things to say about them as well. And one of the bad things I have to say about them is that they are lazy. And they did not put me in jail, and they have spoken to me several times over the past month, and have confirmed with me that the reports that they got and the things that were said about me were false, and that they were able to prove that they were false. However, the people who put in these false reports, knowing that they were false reports, they did not face any consequences, despite my request to press charges against them for false accusations and defamation, because the Tallahassee Police Department, they are lazy. That is the cold, hard truth. Like I said, I have good things about the Tallahassee Police Department, but I also have bad things to say about them as well. And one of the bad things that I have to say about them is that they are lazy. Because if these people actually faced consequences for their actions, if they actually faced consequences for defamation and spreading untruths and committing crimes against me to try to make me look bad, I can guarantee you all this bullshit would have stopped a long time ago. But instead, it's still happening because these people are not facing consequences for their actions, despite the fact that I have quite literally shone a light on them and basically said to the world, hey, these are the bad guys right here. These are the guys you want. These are the guys. I've slandered them on the podcast and on Instagram, and I reported them to the authorities, and I've been like, hey, these are the bad guys who are bad people, and they're trying to make me look bad. Here's the proof that I'm innocent and they're guilty. I have hardcore proof. They're still not facing consequences. Therefore, they keep doing what they're doing. And I'm over here being punished, and I don't even know why I'm being punished. And I might not be punished in the sense that I've gone to jail or to prison, or that I've been framed for a crime, or that I'm innocent and been put in jail anyway. No, I'm not being punished in that sense. I'm being punished in the sense where those of you listening to this podcast, you can walk into any bar, any club, any establishment. I can't. Quite literally, every time I leave the house, I catch a trespass. It's like at a point now where like I don't even want to leave my house because I'm afraid I'm gonna get in trouble because I'm basically a chaos magnet. I went from I don't want to go out because when I go out, I run into bad people and I run into troublemakers and I run into my enemies and I run into people that I don't want to see. So I'm not gonna go out. I'm gonna stay home and I'm gonna focus on myself. I'm gonna make some podcast episodes. I'm going to further my education. I'm going to focus on growing my goals and achieving my goals and improving myself as a person. And the one time that I want to go out, okay, I'm in a good mood. I haven't been out for a while. Let me go out now. Oh, you're not allowed to go out anymore. Oh, okay. Guess I'll sit home and rot in bed. I'm just pissed. I'm pissed at two things. One of my favorite influencers and podcasters is someone that I genuinely looked up to, Charlie Kirk, was shot and murdered in cold blood. He was gone from us way too soon. I looked forward to seeing new podcast episodes from him. And while I do feel sad when people die, even if it's someone that I'm a fan of, if it's not something that I know personally, I don't take it personal. But when Charlie died, I actually felt heavy sadness in my heart, as if someone that I personally knew and loved was killed in front of my own eyes. It's not a feeling that I can put into words, but I genuinely felt saddened and traumatized by it. And I'm still pissed about it, especially because liberals are actually celebrating his death and then have the audacity to claim that they're the good guys. But I'm also pissed off because of the bullshit that I'm going through, where I literally just breathe and problems appear that I never fucking asked for. I genuinely just wanted to go out and have a good time. Like, I walk into the crowd. Oh shit, there's Gracie. That's weird. I thought she left Tallahassee. Okay, whatever. I'll just mind my business. Oh great, she's walking towards me. Why is she walking towards me? We don't have anything in common. We don't like each other. Why are you acting pleased to see me? I know you're not. Is this some show for your friends that you told you hate me? Like, why are you being polite to me? You could have I saw you first, and I basically went on with my business. You could have done the exact same thing, but no, you had to come up to me. Why? I am genuinely pissed off. It's such a shit world we live in with such shit people. And these shit people, these shitty people, the bad guys who go after the good guys and then claim that they were the good guys all along. The bad guys, they keep winning. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Good guys are being punished. People like Kirk paid with his fucking life. You know who deserved to die? Okay, I'm not trying to tell you that people deserve to die. No one deserves to die. But if you were to ask me, if you had to choose, if you made me the Grim Reaper, and you told me, okay, you as a Grim Reaper, you have to choose someone to get shot in the neck, someone who deserves to die, I would much rather put someone who actually deserves it, someone who's actually done heinous, criminal, hurtful things to other people, versus someone like Charlie Kirk, who is actually very polite to his competitors, who is actually very polite to even people who sent him death threats that he knew were his enemy, people who threatened his family. Kirk was a good man, a better man than I'll ever be. Once again, I'm not trying to sit here and tell you that people deserve to die. No, no one deserves to die. But if you made me the Grim Reaper for a day and you told me, choose someone to die today, I would not choose someone like Charlie Kirk who's done nothing wrong. I would choose someone who's actually done bad things, who brings negativity every day that they're alive. Someone, for example, the guy on the bus stop who stabbed Irna to death. This man had 14 felonies, was convicted 14 times of crimes, and was set to walk free. I know I just said that no one deserves to die, but if they decided to give that man the death penalty, I would absolutely support it. You know who else? If I was the Grim Reaper and I had to choose someone to die, Tyler fucking Robinson, the guy who shot Kirk. If you were to put both of them in front of me and you said to me, who do you think deserves to die, Charlie Kirk or Tyler Robinson? I would say Tyler Robinson. Kirk's done nothing wrong. All he does is go on campuses with permission from these universities and debate college kids. Tyler Robinson killed someone simply because he disagreed with his ideologies. If you gave me an infinity gauntlet and you told me you need to snap half these people out of existence, which half of society are you going to rid the planet of by snapping your fingers and making them all disappear? I assume you all have seen Infinity War and Endgame. I would tell you, I'm going to snap the liberals out of existence because unlike Thanos from the Avengers, basically, and a big reason why he was such a good villain is because he actually had some decent points, pointing out how the universe was unbalanced and how Earth was basically overly populated, and therefore he needed to eliminate half of life to keep the balance. But Thanos didn't care if you were a good person or a shit person. He was just Thanos snapping people randomly. The only people that he actually wanted to kill were the Avengers, because the Avengers kept getting in his way and kept trying to stop him from accomplishing his goal. Now, if I was Thanos, if I had the power to snap people out of existence, I wouldn't just snap my fingers randomly and say half the universe needs to disappear to keep the balance in order. I would say, okay, give me a list of the shittiest people on the planet, more specifically liberals, because those are usually the shitty ones, and I'm gonna Thanos snap them out of reality. Because I genuinely, let me ask you an honest question, guys. Name one good thing that a liberal has done. Name one good thing that a liberal has done versus a conservative. You ask me, oh, name something bad that conservatives have done. I can't think of anything. But then you ask me, oh, name one good thing that liberals have done. I can't think of anything. Keep in mind, they are celebrating the death of a husband and a father. I don't feel any sympathy for these people. Fuck that. Actions speak louder than words. You look at the actions of a conservative who talks about why you cannot become a woman simply because you say you are. Your penis and testicles don't magically disappear because you throw on a wig, and they use actual logic. versus a liberal, all they do is complain and cause their own problems and then celebrate the death of a father. Well, who's the bad guy? Clearly the liberals are. Or, on a smaller, non-political scale, someone like myself, ask yourself this. So, people are saying that Adonis is a bad person. Now let's take a look at their lives. They are currently in possession of a fake ID, which is a felony, by the way, and taking drugs on a daily basis. Oh, and they beg their parents for money because they can't pay their fucking rent, because instead of paying their bills like mature adults that they claim to be, they instead blow their money at nightclubs 24/7. Yeah, these guys definitely know what they're talking about. What have I done again? Once again, I don't even know, because people don't want to tell me. They just want to hate for the sake of hating. They say Adonis stops spreading hate, meanwhile they're spreading hate themselves. You lead by example. That was something that Kirk was very good at, was leading by example. Not by being hypocritical, not with just your words. Words help, but words are not all there is to it. He led by fucking example. And that's with everything in life, not just politics, not just with Kirk. That's with everything in life. You lead by fucking example. But yeah, I am pissed off, beyond pissed off, at a lot of different things. I'm very pissed off at the events of tonight because it's absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason this should be happening. A few years ago, when I used to be part of the party culture and I was acting just as retarded as everyone who has now turned against me, no one had a problem with me. And now that I've actually improved my life, now suddenly everyone says I'm a huge issue. So I'm going to remember what I'm feeling right now, and I'm going to remind myself, because today was a reminder of why I don't ever fucking leave my house. Because people are shit, we live in a shit world, and that is why I am secondhand suicidal, which, in case you're dumb and slow, basically, I have no desire to kill myself, but I also do not care if I end up dead for whatever reason. Honestly, at this point, what's wrong with being first-hand suicidal in the first place, which is deliberately killing yourself? What's wrong with actually being suicidal? Because there isn't shit to live for anyway. No matter what you do, everything's gonna go to shit. It's your fucking destiny. Or I don't know about you guys, but at least for me, it's my fucking destiny. Everything's gonna go to shit. Everyone's gonna hate your guts. You're not even gonna know why. Everything is absolute bullshit. Everything is a psyop. Everything is fake. Life is fake. People are fake. Everyone's a fucking clown. No one has any sense anymore. Everything is fucking fake. Honest question, what the fuck is the point of living anymore? What is the point of living anymore? Everything is absolute bullshit. So that's the episode for today. One take, no editing on this. I don't know what I'm gonna do because I can't go back out to the block party. That's fucking pointless. Everyone else gets to have a good time. I don't. Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe someone drops some poison in my drink and I'll be dead by the time the sun rises. Oh, but wait, I'm destined to be miserable forever, so that probably won't happen. But maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe a prayer will be answered and I'll actually wake up dead, so I don't have to fucking deal with this shit.